If clauses, conditional clauses. In this video lesson, we'll learn all about the conditionals, the 4 conditionals you can use when speaking in English. Friends, before we begin this video lesson, let's try practicing using the conditionals. Tell me in the comments below this video, what would you do if you won $1 million on the lottery? Remember to add in as much detail as you can and use the conditionals you learned throughout this lesson. Conditionals in the English language are also called if clauses. There are 4 types of conditionals in the English language, and they are used to express some form of condition. 2 events in the sentence are somehow connected, so they are somehow tied. So there is some condition in the first action that affects the second action. Okay, sounds simple, sounds easy, but let's have a look at 2 examples so that you can better understand these conditions, these actions which affect the other action. Have a look at these 2 sentences. If you heat water to 100 degrees, it boils. If babies are hungry, they cry. In these 2 sentences, the zero conditional is being used. We form the zero conditional by having the if clause plus the present simple and the present simple. Notice that only one tense is being used, that being the present simple. The zero conditional is used when something will always happen. We use it for general facts, when something is unquestionable and it is always true. For example, if you touch fire, you'll get burnt. But every time you touch fire, you will get burnt. Or I'm allergic to gluten, so if I eat gluten, I will get sick. These are all facts. If I eat gluten, I'll get sick. Or if I touch fire, I'll get burnt. In the zero conditional, the word if can also be changed with the word when, without the meaning being changed. For example, when I touch fire, I get burnt, or when I eat gluten, I get sick. Let's move on to these 2 sentences. If it rains tomorrow, we'll go to the cinema. If I study now, I'll go to the party in the evening. Here we can see the first conditional being used. Unlike the zero conditional, we form the first conditional with 2 tenses. We use the present simple and the will future. So the form is always the same, that being if plus present simple and will plus infinitive. We use the first conditional for things that might happen in the future. It's not 100% that they will happen. There's a 50-50 chance, or maybe 60-40, 70-30, 30-70. There's a chance, but it's not certain that it will happen. So if you're in a situation when you don't know if something will happen in the future, you can't be 100% certain, use the first conditional. By using the first conditional, you are expressing a possible action or a possible result. Let's have a look at these 2 sentences. If the train is late, she will be late, or she'll miss the bus if she doesn't leave soon. In this example, we need to pay attention to the form. Present simple always follows if. The inverted structure is possible, but you need to pay attention to not mix the tenses up. Now you may be wondering what's the difference between the zero and the first conditional. The difference is that the first conditional describes a particular situation, whereas the zero conditional describes what happens in general. Let's have a look at this sentence here. If I had a lot of money, I would travel around the world. Here we can see the second conditional being used. The second conditional uses the past simple after if, then would, and the infinitive. Remember that question I asked you at the beginning of the video lesson? You can use the second conditional to answer this question. For example, if I won the lottery, I would buy a big house. So as you probably can see, we use the second conditional to talk about events that are not likely. I can hope to win the lottery, but I don't think I will. Use the second conditional to talk about hopes, dreams, imagination, things that are highly unlikely to happen. For example, if I had Brad Pitt's number, I'd call him. As we can see, it's probably unlikely that I'd get Brad Pitt's number. This is a perfect hypothetical condition where you can use the second conditional. But we can also use the second conditional to talk about something in the present that's impossible, because it's not true. For example, if I'd gone to bed early, I wouldn't have slept through my alarm. Have a look at these 2 examples. If she had studied, she would have passed the exam. She wouldn't have been tired if she had gone to bed earlier. As we can see from these 2 sentences, we form the third conditional by using the past perfect and then would have and the past participle in the second part of the sentence. Friends, use the third conditional when you're talking about the past. Use it about a situation in the past that didn't happen, but a possible result that could have happened or could have occurred. So this result never happened, it's unrealistic, and this is why you would be using the third conditional. Use this conditional to express past conditions and results in the past. Friends, there you have it, the basics you need to know to be able to speak in English using those if clauses and conditionals. If you're still struggling to use conditionals, make sure to get my grammar training. You can do that by clicking the link just above here to get further practice and guidance improving your grammar and improving your communication skills in English with grammar. Remember, if you like this video lesson, make sure to like it, hit subscribe, and share this video with a friend learning English. Thanks for being here and see you next time. Bye for now.